What's up, Mike?
Hey Eric, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing good.
You got your coffee?
I got my coffee.
Nice. I have a table full of goodies.
I got one of those too.
Nice. All right. Cool. So I'm
Yeah.
in that spot that is always like tricky in terms of like connection. So if anything goes down, let me know and I'll do a tour of the store.
You're sounding great so far.
All right. Cool. So I thought that it's the holiday season, right?
It is.
Some of these tools that will help with recovery and injury prevention, they might be some good like gift ideas too,
I think there's some great gift ideas.
Right? So yeah, as you can see, I have a table full of ideas with gifts, and they're going to be great little tools for helping you get recovered, and they might prevent some injuries for these runners out there.
Yeah, and I got a table here, and I can't wait to discuss to see what we have.
All right, cool. So, first off, what types of like injuries or like kind of like what types of injuries are like commonly fixed by some of these tools? Are we talking like IT band issues? Are we talking knee issues? Are we talking like kind of multiple things?
Yeah, so a lot of soft tissue injuries can be reduced, prevented, or helped by any of the stuff we're going to talk about today, all of these devices. And to an extent, even like a stress fracture. So if you think of in the shin, if you get a stress fracture in your shin, right, it starts off as a muscle strain, and then it turns into like a stress, a shin splint or a stress reaction on the bone, and then that leads to eventually a breakdown of the lining of the bone, which is a stress fracture. Mm-hmm. So reducing some of that extra tension using some of these devices before you run could limit the incidence of getting that. So it helps a lot of stuff. It won't help, how can I say this nicely? It won't fix stupid, right? Nothing fixes that, so.
Right. I've learned that 35 years and it still hasn't been fixed. So yeah.
Yeah. We can't fix that. So this isn't gonna like make up for stupid training flaws or bad decisions in your training, but can help a lot of other things.
All right, cool. So you're looking at tools mostly that are like soft tissue work types of things.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk about that, and then even just some home strengthening stuff that really inexpensive items as well.
Okay, cool. So yeah, let's dive into this thing. So I have kind of the same. I think all of my little things here are that they're like soft tissue work. So I'm going to start with one of the items we talk about. Feels like every week. Feels like every week we're talking about a foam roller, right? You got one?
Yes,
I knew it.
What do you got there?
So this one is a foam roller from a brand called Roll Recovery. This is a little bit, it looks like a little fancier than the one you have, but I'm sure they both do the same thing, right? So This one has like the like plastic kind of PVC pipe thing going on with some harder foam around it. And then it's also got this cool little spot here in the middle that works really good on like the back, on your spine. You get in like the IT band, go right around that, get that lateral quad going too. So yeah, foam roller, man.
Love it.
Right.
So, and I guarantee if you Google foam rollers, we'll find like 500 different companies or different types of foam rollers out there.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, but people always ask, probably you guys as well, like, what's the best one? And I just tell them the one you're going to use is the best one. They all have some advantages, So, like, this appears to be just a regular black foam roller, but this one's got a secret key.
Ooh, wow. Look at that.
So this is a vibrating foam roller.
Wow, now that's next level stuff, man.
Yeah, let me. Loud, huh? Yeah.
All right.
So This is a company called Hyper Ice, and I'm not promoting any one product or anything. I don't make any money by promoting them, but they've got a few good products. I was against these vibrating foam rollers at first. I thought they was just a gimmick, but they actually do increase blood flow and get the tissues to relax. If you can tolerate the vibration, it's a little uncomfortable. But they're pricey. Depending on where you go, you're going to spend $99 plus for something like this. Whereas a regular black foam roller, $15, right? And then this price is all in between. And we use one, we sell a lot of a regular foam roller. It's called the Grid. I think you guys know that one. And it's got the PVC pipe on the inside. You guys have it?
Boom.
Yeah, that's a great one. Because it's got a little bit of the ribbed sides that can get into the tissue a little bit better. And that PVC pipe lasts forever. As long as you don't jump on it, the thing's going to last you 12, 15 years, I bet.
Right. Yeah. So I also have the really inexpensive one behind me. So this is like you were saying, probably like $15. Just simple foam. But I think like you were saying, one of the keys to the foam roller thing is to use it. Whether it's $15 or $90, you got to get on that thing, man.
You do, and it doesn't matter how much you spend, and if it's filled with PVC pipe or foam, if it's ribbed, doesn't matter. Like, you just got to get on it and use it. So whatever one is most comfortable. Some people have to start with like a basic flat foam roller like the one you just saw, which is very inexpensive. And then as they get used to the pressure, they can build up to do something a little more aggressive with bumps. I mean, they got stuff with spikes and rollers and vibrating, heating ones. They got all sorts of stuff.
Jeez, yeah. So I think it's sometimes like you go either way, right? So like with sunglasses, we have people who buy sunglasses that are $25 because they lose them every 2 seconds, and they're like, I'm not spending $200 on sunglasses. Or you'll have someone who spends $200 on sunglasses so they don't lose them. So same thing with the foam roller. You might find like, I'll just buy a $15 one because I know it's going to be around the house. I'll have a couple laying around. Or you'll be like, okay, I never use my foam roller. Maybe I'll drop a couple of bucks and it'll incentivize me to use it. I spent like $90 on this thing. I better get on there.
Right.
Otherwise, what the heck was the point?
Yeah, money can be a valuable tool. We discuss this a lot because we have some people that use our services that don't have insurance, or they're using services that aren't covered by insurance, so they're paying a lot of money for things. But those people tend to be really good listeners and motivated and do everything you tell them because they're spending their hard-earned money. So same thing with these products. If they're spending their money and they're just looking at it collect dust, they might be more apt to jump on it. Right. So
I have some other things that are kind of like in the same idea, right? So we have this like deep tissue, basically it's a massage ball essentially. Yeah. So it kind of does the same trick as like the foam roller, but I feel like it gets into some nooks and crannies a little bit easier.
It does get into nooks and crannies, absolutely. So I got two versions of that as well, right?
Yeah.
Basic lacrosse ball. You can get it for a couple of bucks somewhere, right? This is one actually, Saucony made these for a while back, just put their logo on it, but it's basically a lacrosse ball that you can find outside of any high school field. Good density, and like if we talk about the shin, the foam roller is not going to get behind the shin and into those deep muscles. Sometimes getting into the glute as well, you need something convex like this. And then the same company that made that vibrating foam roller has.
Wow! Hey, look at that thing.
I'm actually a fan of this guy because it's small. It's not much bigger than here, and you can really get into places that. Same type of place you can get with this, and again with the added vibration, maybe a little more blood flow. But $1, or if not free, if you got any kids that play lacrosse. Versus, I forgot what this is. This is probably somewhere in the $70 to $90 range just for a vibrating ball.
Yeah,
pretty cost effective right here.
Right.
And the one you have too, right?
Yeah, the one I have is like it like sets in between, so it's like $10. It's got a little bit of kind of that ridging thing going on here, so it'll be a little bit more kind of aggressive than that lacrosse ball, but not quite as crazy as the $70 vibrating orb that you can massage with.
The orb. Yeah, there's a whole spectrum of things. And I if anyone's going to try it, start inexpensive, start gentle, no spikes, ridges, bumps, motors, heaters, just make sure you're going to use these things. But they're all effective. Doesn't matter how fancy they are, they can all be really effective.
Right. So could you explain a little bit more about the vibrating stuff? Because, we've got a couple of vendors who are talking to us about bringing in something like that. So, what is the benefit? Why do I need to drop $90 on a vibrating foam roller?
So you might not need to, but the benefit is we'll get an increase in blood flow and a relaxation of tissue a little bit quicker than you would just with the ball or the foam roller. So I'm going to jump into something else and tell you why. So this is my favorite device of all time. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
This is great. So this is the HyperVolt made by HyperIce. It's an impact massager, and this is how I got introduced to the company. So if you look at the tip here, so it's an impact because it's not just vibrating; it impacts into the tissue. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah.
So I started using these, and we have them in every office, and we've sold probably about 100 of them by now to clients because it's really effective. And the impact I like better than just vibrating. But when we sold a bunch of these, and then the company introduced us to the vibrating tools, and I thought it was really gimmicky at first. But I've got people that got a lot of relief. The vibration can help reduce joint stiffness pretty effectively. So we actually use it for people with really tight ankles, tight shoulders. So it just gives you a little bit extra for the time and effort you're putting in. Not absolutely needed for everyone, but if the few extra bucks isn't going to change your life, maybe give it a whirl. See how you like it.
All right, cool. So can we talk a little bit more about those massage guns? Because I have one here that we
what do you got there?
So this is a company called Prem Vita. So it's basically the same idea as the HyperIce HyperVolt, just a little bit more compact. So this one is, I think, the size of the big iPhone that they have. So it's a little bit more portable. So we liked it because you could, if there's races again or events that you can go to, you could actually bring it with you.
What's an event? I don't remember those.
Yeah, I know. It's been so long, I can't remember what actually goes on at those things. But you could bring it with you. So you could pack it in your gear bag, bring it, get a massage before or after your run or your race. Yeah. And then what I like about it personally is that it actually recharges with a USB-C cable, which is a lot of people just have laying around, so you don't have to have an extra charger. You might already have it. Awesome. So it's kind of cool. It does the same trick though. So similar, I think, if I remember correctly, the one you have has a couple of attachments, right? Different.
Yeah. So this is the flathead, and you can just pull this off. And then we've got pointy ones, we've got forked ones, we've got round balls, we've got all sorts of things you can attach onto it, which is good for different body parts. And this one has 3 different speeds. Yep. So you'll see the blue light, that's gear 1, gear 2, popped up, gear 3.
Thing really gets going, huh?
Yeah, that thing does. Threw this right off. So kind of like the foam rollers, just everyone and their brother is making these. If you go onto Google or Amazon, you'll find a bunch of different ones. And I can't say one is better than others. If you need portability, you need a smaller one like the one you have there. If you want just a beast that's kind of quiet, that might have sounded loud with the microphone, but we use this and we can carry on conversations with people. I really like this one for the price point. This is the one that we like the best. There's some that are more expensive, maybe a little more powerful, but that thing, you can break up a sidewalk with that if you tried.
Right, like a little jackhammer. So you would use that just on clients that need a massage, right? So they've got tightness, stiffness, that type of stuff.
Yeah, just need to loosen up a really tight muscle, need to get some blood flow. I like to use that sometimes before I dry needle a really tight muscle, because you can get global tightness and as well as those little trigger points that we're going to needle. So get that in there, relax the muscle, get the blood flow. Sometimes with people who don't enjoy the needling, it makes it a little more comfortable. But we use it to save our hands. If we don't need to get in there as deep or as fine tuned with our hands, we'll use a device like that so we're not beating ourselves up too much.
Got it. Cool. That's fun.
Yeah.
So the foam roller in like these little balls, right? Sometimes we run into issues with people not using them, right? Because you have to get down on the ground, you have to do your thing. The massage gun is a little bit easier to use, right? So like you can just use it. You don't have to lay down if you don't want to. I have two other tools on my table here that I'm sure you've seen before. It's kind of like a rolling pin type of thing, but one of the reasons why we like these is because it's more likely to be used because it's easy. You don't have to get down on the ground. You can kind of massage just like you would a piece of dough, Get on the quads, the calves, the hammies. Super easy to use. This one I grabbed is a little bit more flexible. So you can really kind of get in there and bend around some muscles. We have another one that's a little bit more stiff, so it's a little bit more aggressive. And this one's kind of fun. This one's from Trigger Point, and I think this one goes for like $30, so relatively inexpensive, but a tool that I feel is more likely to be used,
That's a really good point because rolling around on a foam roller on the ground is uncomfortable for a lot of people and requires arm strength, and then you're on the floor and it is a pain. So having some sort of stick massager like that is perfect. I think if you had some version of a stick massager, a foam roller, and a ball, don't need to be fancy, lacrosse ball, the basic foam roller, and a basic stick massager, there's pretty much not a muscle in your body you won't be able to get to.
Right. Yeah. Makes sense.
That's like a great Christmas package for your loved runner that you might need to buy a gift for, right?
Right. Yeah. Put together a little basket.
Yeah. Little torture basket. They'll love it.
Right. Exactly. I have one more that it's pretty good for runners, but I like it for people who just like are on the computer all day or like on their phone. Jesus, I just whacked myself with it. This thing is fantastic for getting like behind the shoulder blade, going forward. I just hang out with this thing on my shoulder all day here at the store because I am on my phone a lot doing like, stupid Instagram and typing and texting and all that, just like this all day.
Right.
So this loosens up the shoulders. You can get like the traps there, and you can use it on like glutes as well. This bit works pretty well on like the pecs and stuff. So
that's awesome.
Cool. Another trigger point. $20, easy peasy. Throw it in the torture basket.
So if anyone looks up Theracane, Theracane, that was like the first of that type of device to come out probably 20 years ago. But it's a similar looking device, not as cool looking, and the ends aren't as round and soft. But you'll find a bunch of different versions, and it is great because if you don't have, let's say you buy a massager, you can't. It's tough to get back there, right? Unless you have someone living with you that can get back there. So something like this is great.
Yeah, it's a cool little tool. You got anything else on your little table there, or we run through it?
Yeah, no. So I got one quick thing. Well, I got a couple things, but so any runner who's been in physical therapy knows what this is. So this is one of the Graston tools that we use. So it's a form of instrument-assisted soft tissue mobilization. Big term that just means we use a tool like this to like get into the muscle and try to free things up, right?
Yeah.
You can't buy Graston tools unless you take their course and unless you're a medical practitioner. But there are some pretty decent tools that anyone can buy right off the web that can be really handy. I don't recommend people buy these unless they have someone like a trained therapist or chiropractor that knows how to use it to teach them. It's
Gotcha.
not sharp, but it's metal. And if you go too aggressive or if you're hitting structures you shouldn't be hitting, then you could possibly injure yourself. So you need to be careful. But for in like the $79 to $99 range, you can get an oddly shaped instrument assisted soft tissue mobilization tool. And you can really, I like it for around tendons and small muscles. So like getting in the plantar fascia, the Achilles tendon, wake that stuff up before you run. So, but again, only under like trained supervision of what I recommend them, but you can get them, which is great.
That's cool.
And then I've got these things. All my balls just fell off the table.
That's all right. There we go.
So
what are these?
different resistance bands.
Oh, cool.
Typically depending on the company, every color is a different level of resistance. They're great to add some extra tension and resistance to muscles pretty much anywhere in your body. We use them a ton around the feet and legs to wake up the hips. Very good, super inexpensive. You can get a kit of 3 of these probably for under $20, $4 or $5 a piece, something like that. They're great. And then again, if you don't know what to do with it, you want someone to teach you how to use them. But you can go on YouTube and there'll be 1,000, several million videos at this point of people using things like this.
Right.
And then there's one other kit. You can get all sorts of different kits. I don't know if you can see this, but this yeah, so there's 3 different levels of resistance band, and there's a door attachment, so you can do upper body work. You can do like pull downs, you can do rows, you can flip around and do chest press. Very inexpensive. Like this kit here with 3 different resistance bands, a door attachment, and handles. We personally sell it for $25 out of our offices. You probably can get it for a similar price online. So now we talk about all the soft tissue tools to help, get you ready for running and recovery tools as well. And then if you get some of this and you know how to use them properly, now you got some strengthening in, which is a key to preventing injuries we've talked about so many times.
Right.
For very little money, you can arm yourself with some pretty cool tools like all the stuff we talked about today, and keep yourself out of like physical therapy offices like mine and out of doctors' offices.
Right. You're putting yourself out of business here with this, Mike. Come on.
I know, it's a bad business model I have. Teach people how to care for themselves and then they don't need me.
I know. No, I think you're in luck because most people don't listen. But
like we said, we can't fix stupid, right?
but no, I think that's cool. Those resistance bands are super helpful too, because I remember, was it last week or the week before, you talked about how doing that row exercise is one of the better exercises out there for runners to take part in.
With upper body, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, cool. All right, well, that was fun.
That was toys.
I love it, man. I love it.
It's good stuff.
You know what's even better is my phone worked.
You didn't like glitch out at all.
Yeah, this is awesome. This is where I want to be because I don't interrupt anybody. Yeah. I got a little table.
I like the little altar behind you of sneakers.
I know it's an altar to running.
Yeah, and you got the coffee cup back there, just ready to be filled.
Yeah, little coffee cup. It's good stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But anyway, thank you for doing this, and I hope that people who watched or are going to listen to the podcast will get a little bit of something out of it, either for themselves to invest in, or if they do have like a runner in their life that they need to buy a gift for. I hope we gave them a few ideas that kind of range from very inexpensive to maybe $250 if you want to drop that kind of dough on someone.
Yeah. So all the way up to $349 if you want to drop that kind of dough, or down to $5. Yeah, I think we covered a good range, and obviously people can get a hold of you, get a hold of me if they've got questions about the products and the use of it. There's a lot of good stuff out there as long as you use it properly. Yeah, absolutely. Cool. Well, thanks for doing this, and right. Thank you. Yeah, we'll figure out what we're going to talk about next week, and we'll be right back here, 10:30 next Thursday. Cool. All right, man. Take care. Bye, everybody.